Oh, okay. Okay. So we're going to find out how the Jacksons do Disney. Ada was in the house, right?
Yeah.
Rory and
Lena
in the house. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have some fun talking about her trip to Disney. You're giving away...
We just gave away
a trip to Disney.
We surprised 2 families with a trip to Disney this morning at Panera.
A businesswoman and a philanthropist.
Philanthropy is really my...
That's your jam.
That's my jam.
Yeah, that's her jam.
Yeah.
She loves marketing. She loves supporting local.
I do.
She's a mom. She's a wife, philanthropist.
Yeah. I think so.
All around A+ person. Guys, we're live on all social channels. We're also going to highlight with Kelly Jackson the conversations we've been having all week about Barracks. I mean, what better person to chat with than someone who owns a business in Barracks?
Do you know what? I just was there, obviously, because we were surprising the families. Do you know Tara Ty's gone?
We were talking about that on the show.
I love Tara Ty.
Tara Ty is going down Emmett.
Oh, okay, thank God.
It's going down Emmett to the old Arches location.
Okay. Interesting.
The mom and pop, you guys certainly are not a mom and pop. I mean,
No.
You got 17 Paneras, right?
Yeah.
You got another franchise that you're working, right?
Right.
Okay, we can talk about that. But the one unit owners, we'll talk about this.
I don't know how they can afford it, frankly.
That's what I'm going to ask. And she helped us identify on the show that Ralph's, you believe, and did you talk to Rick about this?
No.
You believe Ralph's is the most expensive rent in the city of Charlottesville, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Chick-fil-A's got to be, at Barracks has got to be way up there.
And that's smaller than Ralph's.
Right, and then I think Brazos is going to be crazy high.
I got to ask you this, and we'll save this for the show. Guys,
Okay.
give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching. How does a Brazos, a local taco shop,
Right.
afford Barracks rent?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm glad they can. I really like Brazos.
You love
tacos.
Brazos,
I
and you
do
like
love
the
Brazos.
local flavor in Barracks.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, don't you wonder?
I don't know. Maybe they have an investor, is my guess. Somebody we invest in different concepts and things all the time. Maybe they have a backer that really came down here or locally and really loves it and said, hey, let me partner with you. Let's build another.
There you go. That's a good idea. We'll talk about all these topics, guys, on the program today with KJ.
I'm back.
Kelly Jackson, she is back, and she always brings the ammunition with her. Judah Wickower is our director. We can rock and roll, J-Dubs, when you're ready. Got the group going. Guys, good Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love Seaville show on a glorious day to be above the mud. Thank you kindly for joining us. Our friend Kelly Jackson is in the studio, and we will welcome her to the program in a matter of moments. She is awesome. She is awesome. I love when she comes on the show. We're going to talk food and beverage, so sit back, buckle up, and get ready to be entertained, educated, and enlightened by KJ, someone who understands the food and beverage game as well as anyone in certainly my network, certainly in Central Virginia, and I would even get a little ballsy and say maybe the Commonwealth.
No, that's true.
I mean, you've got 17 locations.
That's true.
I mean,
and we've been in Northern Virginia for a long
and she's
time.
been in Northern Virginia. She's in a boatload of markets, and she's opening up a new brand,
Yeah.
a new franchise, which we will talk about. We'll give some props and love to Skooma Boutique Dispensary, our friends at Skooma Boutique Dispensary. Skooma is the best dispensary in the city of Charlottesville, and it's located next to Rapture Restaurant. Skooma Boutique Dispensary. That's another business that she loves.
Yeah.
Is the dispensary business, right?
Yeah, I do. I
mean,
think it's brilliant. But I think, we can get into
We'll
it.
get into that.
Yeah.
I love it too. But first, how about an intro? Kelly, you're on now. You're on the Two Shot. How are you?
I'm so great. How are you? I'm glad to be back.
You're back from the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, but I'm glad to be back in the studio.
We're glad to have you
I
in the
missed you.
studio.
I missed Judah the most.
And what about Liza?
Oh, Liza. No, okay. That missed her the most.
Because you're a dog lover.
I am a very big dog lover.
How many dogs you got?
3 right now.
She has 3 dogs. She would have more
Yeah.
if she could.
Yeah, my husband would throw me out of the house.
Well, he's
with
got
the dogs.
He has a house in the backyard.
That's true. He has his own house in the backyard.
So there's somewhere to go. So tell us about the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, so I mean, Disney right now is more crowded than I've ever seen it.
Okay.
Not a mask in sight, Jerry.
Florida's the Wild West.
Oh, it was insane. I was like, good. I was very strict with my kids and laid out the rules before we went. Like, okay, if we're walking through the park, you don't have to wear your mask. But if we go into a shop or in a line close to people, then you got to put your mask on. And at some point, it was like, forget it. I mean, we're going to get COVID. Or, I mean, I'm guessing we're going to get COVID. I don't know. Either we're going to get COVID, we've already had COVID, or like I said before, we're just God's favorite people on earth if we don't get COVID.
So did you get COVID? I guess you don't know.
I don't know.
You got back yesterday.
I got back, so fingers crossed. I mean, I'm boosted. I'm like all the things.
Yeah, you were the most cautious person
Yeah.
ever.
For sure.
Because you have an autoimmune compromised daughter.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So literally, I would say the two most cautious people in Central Virginia were my friend Kelly Jackson and my wife.
Yes.
Like, no BS.
Yes.
No,
I mean,
like-
I pulled my kids out of school.
No, my wife, and she's watching the program, and I love her dearly. I love you, sweetheart.
I'm
was
on team your wife.
doing the most cautious things humanly possible.
Yeah.
So how about the mindset change of going to being the most cautious person in Central Virginia to going to the Wild West,
Well, okay.
Florida?
Listen, my dear friend Frank, who will be on the show later, he takes my family to Disney every year.
Okay.
And he's a member of the Disney 33 Club. There's only like 15 members in the whole country. So we have our own private clubs in each park.
Whoa.
And which nobody is in, so we can eat lunch there. We're not around people. We can eat dinner there. And we get to skip all the lines.
Tell me about I've never heard about this.
I know, because there's only 1,500 people.
There's 1,500 people in the Disney 33 Club.
Uh-huh.
And you do not have to wait in lines.
Not for one ride. So we went on the Star Wars ride. The wait, was 3 hours. It took us 3 minutes to get on.
Okay, can I get a
Spoiled.
Can I get a feeling or some indication or some insight into the death stares and the bitter looks that you get from the people when
Listen,
do they see you cutting the line?
Yeah.
You walk literally by them.
It's a whole separate line. You walk by them.
And what are they saying while you're walking by
They're
them?
pissed.
Are they heckling?
No, not yet. Okay, so listen. Disney has really changed. I love going to Disney.
Okay.
Just because I like it. So Disney now is a ripoff. They have a new CEO.
Okay.
So they've changed things. Okay, so now you have to buy a park ticket.
Okay.
But you also have to make a reservation for your park ticket. So they sell more tickets than they have reservations. What? Okay, and then you have
Profit centers.
What?
They're turning profit centers everywhere.
Okay, so then if you pay $15 a person, you get a fast pass, which is like skip the line, for 3 rides.
Okay.
But the really big rides, like the Star Wars ride or the whatever ride, you have a chance you can pay $20 per person to skip the line. The food is outrageous. The housing, lodging is like ridiculous.
Put in perspective outrageous for food. Like, give us like something tangible that we can understand. Like, this costs this.
Okay, a soft pretzel.
Okay.
No dipping, a soft pretzel.
No beer cheese?
No, plain pretzel.
Okay.
$8.50.
That's a lot.
$8.50?
That's a lot.
A beer, $11.
Adam and you had some beers.
Of course.
$11 for a 16 ounce?
Yeah.
That ain't cheap.
Right.
No, that's not cheap.
I know. So it was very expensive. But I want to tell you something funny. So we were in Epcot.
Okay.
I love Epcot. I like to eat at the different countries and see their specialty drinks and have those. So we were walking by and America is full.
Okay.
Like the section of America. All the Americans are sitting in America drinking Budweiser and eating barbecue.
Why weren't they going to the other European sections?
Very, very, America of us.
Was there a Russian section of Epcot?
Well, so they kind of do the continents.
Okay.
So they're kind of grouped together.
Was there a section of Epcot called Warmonger and Bully? Was there? I hope they eradicated the Putin section of Epcot.
No, you know what they took down his. I think they have the wax figures in each section.
Uh-huh.
They're not there. And then when you go in like the section that's around the world, Coke has like a thing, so you can taste all the different Cokes from all around the world. They took down Russia's.
As they should.
I know they should, but it was like no Russia at all.
Well, how's this? Christy Carlson is giving you some props right now.
Hi, Christy.
She's giving you some love. David Postel saying she's back.
Yeah.
Scott Aaronworth in Virginia Beach. Hello, my friend. So let's talk about this. Put in perspective what you got. Family's got 17 Paneras.
Yeah. We're working on a new restaurant concept.
Can I ask? Can we talk about that, or is that still on the DL?
It's a little on the DL, but all I can say is it's going to be my new brand.
Okay.
So I'll really be focusing just on this new one.
Going to have a local presence in this market?
Not yet. We're going to start in D.C., work our way through Northern Virginia.
Can I get an idea as I'm trying to, and tell me if I'm pushing too hard,
Okay.
of what the menu is going to be like?
Only 6 items. Very different from Panera.
Okay.
It's in the realm of chicken.
Okay. I like chicken.
Yeah, it's a very popular concept out of L.A.
Okay. So
We'll be the first on this coast.
franchise?
Franchise.
Very nice. You have a lot of experience there.
Yes.
Okay. So let's ask some questions here. Is the geopolitical tensions, Russia, Ukraine,
Right.
does that impact your business in any capacity? It does not.
No. I mean, the supply chain, once it starts impacting the supply chain, right, the cost of food just to purchase in general goes up.
Okay.
So
How about the gas, the oil?
Yeah, I mean, that affects us, right? Because we have trucks that bring our product in. We have employees who might not be able to afford to live in Waynesboro and drive to Charlottesville to work.
Right.
So all of that kind of plays in.
How about a perspective, because we were talking about this earlier in the week, and you were watching from
Disney.
From the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Yes,
right?
I skipped that line, so I was watching you
On the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
There's a photo that they take at Disney World when they're dropped down the elevator. Kelly has the phone in her hand, and and you see a glimpse of Judah on the screen over there. So we were talking, as you know, earlier in the week about Ralph's.
Yeah.
Your neighbor in Barracks.
Yeah.
Ralph Sampson's Tap Room.
I think it's going to be good.
I thought the service was great. I thought the
I
food
haven't
was
been there,
great.
so I can't.
You've been?
No, I have not.
It was great.
Okay.
It looks exactly like Zimburger, except
I liked
I thought
Zimburger.
Zimburger was great too.
I did.
Except they rebranded it. What I was taken aback by was the prices.
So, like, give me something tangible.
10 wings for $23?
No.
10 wings, $23.
Yeah, but listen, my kids love wings.
Yeah.
And they like the wings from
Rory?
Wegmans.
Rory?
Yeah, Rory and Lena really is obsessive about wings.
Okay.
Wegmans wings are insanely priced too.
It's extremely expensive for wings now.
Have you been to the wings place off 5th? In Fifth Street Station?
Is that Wing Zone?
Yeah.
That's the Aramark brand, right?
Yeah, but they sold. Airmark pulled out when
Okay,
COVID
so it's
started.
not Aramark anymore.
No.
Okay, so she knows Fifth Street Station extremely well. She has a Panera in
We're
Fifth
getting a
Street Station.
Marshalls.
You're getting a Marshalls?
Fifth Street.
Yeah, in the old
AC Moore.
AC Moore spot. I think you let me know that back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's big time news. Marshalls to Fifth Street Station. Is that guaranteed?
That's what...
You've been told by management?
That's what I've been told by management. And I went to Marshalls because I sometimes don't believe what management says.
And you asked them?
And I asked them.
So I think you just broke some news here.
Listen.
I'm going to turn this into a tweet on the network and put it everywhere after the show.
Okay. I can't guarantee that, but that's what I'm told.
Okay, well,
They're doing construction in there right now, and it's a big space.
You're a connected person.
Well,
Can I say in the tweet Kelly Jackson said?
Yeah.
Marshalls?
Yeah.
Fifth Street Station?
Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah.
Would you?
I'm thrilled. For my business, it's great for me.
I would think it's great for the shopping center.
Yes.
Probably more so than AC Moore, right?
My kids are crafty, so I was always an AC Moore.
Okay. But from a business, like
from a
foot
business,
traffic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be better.
Explain this to me, okay? I've had this question. I've been meaning to ask you. Brazos Tacos is coming to the old Bricks location in Barracks Road.
I'm excited. I like Brazos.
We both love Brazos.
Yeah.
And it's important to emphasize the Jackson family, the Postel family, they love supporting local businesses.
Yeah. We are a local business.
Yeah.
Even though we have like a bigger brand name that's
You guys are local.
We own it. We operate it. We are,
How does a individual unit or a 2 unit afford Federal Realty rent?
I have no idea. Like I said before, I mean, I won't speak for the people who own Brazos. I don't know them. I'm not connected in any way to them. I love their tacos and their margaritas. But maybe my guess is either they've just saved, and are doing just crazy awesome over there at Ix, or they might have gotten some sort of investor, whether that be an angel investor or someone local who really just loves thinks it's a good investment to do a second location. That's my guess.
Put in perspective the rents. Can you?
No, I can't.
Come on.
No, I can't.
Because you got a great deal.
Yeah, and
Highest
everybody's
one
different.
in the area? No doubt, right?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Fifth Street.
Fifth Street, yeah.
And you got Barracks.
Yep, Eric's.
And you had perspective at Hollymead.
Yeah, but Hollymead, it just wasn't, our rent was up.
Sure.
And with COVID,
Yeah.
and there was no way for us to do a drive-through. So when most of our rents are up at most of our locations, not Barracks Road, because that's a great location for us, we'll be relocating to a spot that can have a drive-through.
And drive-through is critical.
Critical. I mean, listen, we would have gone belly up if we didn't have drive-through or delivery during COVID.
What'd you make of and we chatted about this, what'd you make of the Who's Brew High Street?
I think I like it.
Hunter Smith.
I think it's a great idea.
Talk to us why. A brew-through and a coffee shop all in one.
Okay, there are already places in Charlottesville that I like and frequent that are coffee houses where you go and sit down.
Okay, such as?
Like Seaville Coffee.
Okay.
Panera, you can go there. You can go sit down at Starbucks. That market is already full. And most people who drink coffee in the morning are headed somewhere, right? Like, who wants to get out of their car when it's cold or rainy or windy or snowing or right?
What do you make of the, he's walking in. We can get him, we got our favorite viewer from around the mall watching here. So what do you make of the Teratai leaving Barracks Road?
I'm sad about Teratai, but I'm glad they're not closed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad.
Going to the old Arches location.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah?
I mean, I guess. But also, that was like more of a destination place, right? Like, if I'm shopping for the day, I hope you stop by Panera. I'd appreciate it.
Please, plug.
But, I don't know if that was like a ladies' luncheon spot, right? Like, ladies are meeting and shopping and chatting. I bet their business will do better. I hope it does better at the new location.
Well, I mean, your Panera business is set up perfectly for the traffic in Barracks. Fast casual.
Yeah.
Grab
you
and
can
go.
sit outside,
Yeah.
have a sandwich, have
Grab
a
and
salad.
go.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misreading this. And Scott Aaronworth said this yesterday.
Okay.
And he's a diehard foodie. I've said often the biggest foodie in the city of Charlottesville may be an attorney from Virginia Beach.
Oh, yeah. He's always eating places.
He calls them foodcations. He comes to Charlottesville
I know. He eats around Charlottesville.
for
I
4
love
days
that.
and spends like a G
Yeah.
eating food.
I mean, where would you go? Your first stop, if you were doing what he was doing, where
And
would you go?
that was his point. His point was like he doesn't think necessarily like sit down Barracks Road
No.
dining. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with Panera, it's perfect because you can get coffee, you can get broccoli and cheddar, you can get a sandwich to go, you can
Yeah.
use some Wi-Fi and you
get a
leave.
pizza.
Fast casual.
Yeah.
It's fast casual. So that's why I'm asking. It's like we've seen Zinburger turn.
I loved Zimburger. I don't care what anyone said. I liked Zimburger.
Zinburger was good. Zinburger was good.
Yeah, their veggie burger was good.
What else have we seen? We saw Zinburger,
Bricks left.
Bricks. We saw Ruby Tuesdays leave.
didn't even know there was Ruby Tuesdays.
First, I had a job there while at UVA. What else have we seen leave from Barracks? Teratai.
A lot of places have left on the other side of Barracks.
Yeah, Barracks North.
Yeah.
Was it Wild Greens before Peter Chang's? There was something there.
Yeah. Peter Chang's, though, was good.
So what would you do? Because you consult.
Yeah.
Where would you consult the sit downs to consider first, second, and third?
Downtown Mall,
Yeah.
right? That's a destination sit-down location,
Okay.
right? Like, we come down here
Absolutely.
on a date night specifically for dinner and drinks to sit down and enjoy ourselves, right? So I like the downtown mall very much for a sit down. sit down is hard.
Right?
I'm not really in that realm of business, but like, I don't think I would drive to Barracks Road to sit down and have a nice meal with my husband.
Would you do? That's what Scott said. Scott, he wouldn't drive to Barracks Road to sit down and have a nice meal.
No.
That's what he said.
Because I feel like if I drive down here, I can have a drink at one place and an appetizer somewhere else and then have a nice dinner and then go somewhere else.
He says he's watching right now. He says Belmont is his number one.
Yeah, I agree with Belmont.
The
for
tough
sure.
part about Belmont, and Belmont's great, Tabla.
I kind of link Belmont and downtown kind of together
There's-
in my mind sometimes because I'll have dinner there and then walk here for like a cocktail.
And not a ton of options from a rental standpoint.
No, I mean, that's got to be hella expensive over there. I mean, the houses are selling for...
Off the chain, off the
I
chart.
can't imagine what rent would be.
Off the chart. Scott says the Zinburger milkshakes were great, and he calls Belmont his number one. This question's coming from Steven for you. Can you put in perspective? Lauren is loving the Marshalls comment, by the way. I think you literally just made some news here, and we'll amplify it after the program. Can you put in perspective how Steven says your cost of goods have increased at Paneras?
I mean, it's very expensive, right? So this is going to happen to any restaurant. So I won't speak Panera specific because it's really every restaurant, right?
Okay.
So the cost of goods are going way up. For example, like chicken, beef. Have you tried to buy a nice steak at Wegmans lately?
Dude, it's astronomical.
Hope you want one steak a month. It's
I mean,
like $100.
The ribeye at
A
Ralph's
prime age ribeye, yeah.
is 50.
Right.
$50 for the ribeye.
Right. So then what happens, and this is restaurants consistently. So the price of goods go up, so then we have to up our prices. And then also, if minimum wage goes up, we also then have to up our prices. So you might be getting paid more as an employee, but your daily cost of living in general, food, paper towels, toilet paper, right? Just because you're getting paid more, you're actually going to have to spend more. And then you're going to pay more in taxes. So if you start making more and go over a threshold of a bracket in taxes, right, you're actually losing money.
I mean, that's a great explanation right there.
So, yeah. So before you take a raise, make sure it doesn't bump you into a different tax bracket. And if it does, calculate that out before accepting it.
And your man is a CPA, right? An accountant?
Yeah.
So, I mean, speaking from experience, this just came in. Costco, the way to go with purchasing steaks. That was put on the feed right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's eventually, it's going to have to be passed, I hate to say this, to the consumer.
No, it is passed to the consumer.
Every
That's
time.
what I'm saying. Almost every time, yeah. So if minimum wage goes up, we're going to have to charge more for our products. That's not just me. That's every restaurant. Or otherwise, we'd go out of business.
What's the advice you would give then to someone looking at Barracks? And it doesn't just have to be F&B. Consider maybe retail as well.
I mean, I think retail is going away.
Okay.
So I think Charlottesville is very different than the rest of Virginia, right? It's a college town. Everyone really supports local. No one's going to the Applebee's, right? Like they're really trying to stay with local brands. So why would you go into Old Navy when you can just order it online? Right?
Maybe why Nike store closed down?
For sure.
Were you surprised by that?
No.
You were not.
I was not surprised.
Really?
No. I mean, I think things that will be successful are like the Michaels, the
Yeah.
craft stores. Crafty people want to go and pick out their things. They're not ordering their supplies online.
What about the American Eagle that's there?
I don't know. I'm surprised it's open.
Right?
I mean, because my teenager and I both wear American Eagle stuff.
Well, we wore American Eagle. We're relatively the same age. We wore American Eagle's
In
kids.
high school.
Right. It was
And
the jam.
Abercrombie. Whatever happened to that?
It was Abercrombie and American Eagle.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, then American Eagle kind of like went out of style.
Right. But now all the 90s stuff is
it back?
My teenager found a bag of old clothes from the 90s in my basement. She was in heaven.
Your clothes?
Yeah, that I wore in the 90s.
So she's rocking your wardrobe right now.
Yeah.
And what do you say when she comes out of the room saying?
I just laugh.
Yeah? You're like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I was wearing that when I kissed little Johnny for the first time. Is that what it was?
Yes. I mean, yeah, it's funny.
Was his name Johnny?
No.
No.
I dated the same boy for all the way through, from 8th grade all the way through high school.
Oh. Okay. So how about this question for you? You never finish your thoughts on the brew-through concept.
I think it's great.
Yeah?
I do. Do you not?
No, I think it's. I mean, I do think it's a good idea. I think Hunter's the guys. If you're just watching today's program and you missed earlier in the week, the old Wells Fargo, I believe it's a Wells Fargo, right, Judah, on High Street. He confirms the old Wells Fargo on High Street is being converted by Hunter Smith into a to-go coffee shop and potential brew-through.
But listen, so I went to school in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I'd always go visit my sister who was at University of Arkansas.
Okay.
They had a beer barn. So it was like a building that was a barn.
Yeah.
And it was loaded with all different kinds of beer and wine and alcohol. You literally pull through, you tell them what you want, you open your trunk, they throw it in, you drive off. It was the best.
It's brilliant.
It was the best.
It's in the Outer Banks.
Yes, we do it in the Outer Banks all the time.
The brew-through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't exist in Charlottesville. And strategically, he owns a brewing company. So he can do the brew-through where he's
brewing
champion beer to sell.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and he also has...
If you need an investor, hit me up.
Hunter, you got a potential investor right here. He has a stake in Siren.
Right.
He has a stake in Champion Grill.
Yeah, I like Champion.
Stonefield.
Yeah.
He has a stake in Champion Ice House. Champion Ice House is in Gordonsville, a fantastic place for fried chicken. Scott Aaronworth, I think you would agree with that on Champion Ice House. He has a stake in Brasserie Saison on the downtown mall.
Oh, yeah. That's a great place.
He has a stake in Passiflora.
I just went there for my mom's birthday.
I'm going to ask you about Passiflora. Steak in Passiflora in the downtown mall. What was the other one? Sizette? That's not often opened by Brasserie Saison? Yeah. That he has a stake in? Okay. So he has a stake. And Hunter, we're giving you some props here on the program. I'm actually going to check out...
Those are all great concepts.
Siren. He pretty much purchased Reason Beer, Passiflora, Champion Lynchburg, Champion Ice House, Champion Grill, Champion Beer, Brews on High Street,
I
and
have an idea
Brasserie
for him
Saison.
that I really want.
He's, I think, watching.
Okay, if you're watching.
Watches the program.
Okay, there is no THC CBD beer.
THC CBD beer. Didn't Three Notch do one of those?
They tested it out, but it didn't have THC in it. It was just CBD.
Okay. Walk me through that idea.
So, people...
Wouldn't you just enjoy the THC while drinking a beer?
Well, you could, but wouldn't it be nice if I could, go to a brewery and,
Oh, you want the beer to have THC in it?
In it, yeah.
That's an interesting idea. What's your take on the future of the THC space? I got a take.
I've looked into it, and my best friend's brother is a big grower.
Okay.
Out of state. I think it's gonna be big, but then I think companies like Marlboro, Camel, whatever, tobacco companies, are just gonna essentially
pivot from tobacco
and take over it because they have
the infrastructure.
I think the only places that will survive are going to be more like Amsterdam type places, if you've ever been there, where you go and it's an experience, right? Like they have food, they have live music, you can get coffee, you can get your joints, you can stay and hang out.
You can peruse the red light district.
Right.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Not saying I would ever do that. I'm not saying that I would ever do that.
No, but you know what I mean? I think a few will survive. I think a lot are going to try to get in, but think there's only going to be so many licenses. So there's not going to be that many.
That's true. So you're less bullish than you once were.
Yeah.
You've because you see that the space is going to be controlled eventually by the big brands.
Yeah. You'll be able to walk into a gas station instead of buying a pack of Camels, you're going to be able to buy a pack of joints.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen sooner than people think. And the people that are first to market are going to have a huge advantage. That's why I think what Skoom's doing, becoming the official retailer of the community, is going to be impactful for their business.
Yeah, but I don't know if who owns that.
David and his wife Kirsty.
Okay.
Fantastic partner of the network.
So they're going to give, if I remember right, something like over 80% of the contracts or licenses are going to go to people of a minority. that want to start the business.
Is that true?
Yeah. I got that from Albemarle Cannabis Company.
I'd want to, hey, you have the connection there with Albemarle Cannabis Company, husband and wife company.
They're lovely.
Yeah, they are lovely. They are lovely. This question's come in. How does it infuse with food? What's her take on how this could be infused with food?
I think it will be. I think some restaurant, some magical chef, actually, I think it should be in the personal chef segment. So I could hire a personal chef, which I do sometimes, to come over to my house for cook things, special occasions. And then they do that in Colorado. You can have a chef come in Colorado and do a whole THC-infused dinner.
I've talked about this with some chefs where the first course could be THC heavy that leads to voracious appetite throughout the meal. And then it can mean, second, third, fourth, and fifth course are devoured even more.
Yeah, so like usually, and I haven't done it, but I have friends that live in Colorado that do it. Usually it's the butter or certain ingredient that's infused. So you can put as much or as little as you want.
Right. That's how I've seen it as well, where with the butter being the common denominator there.
Yeah.
So how about this? And I ask you this every time. You have Intel, you have 17 locations, and you're opening a new franchise on the East Coast that I think is going to crush it. I'm not going to spill the beans. Fortunate to know a little more, but I think it's going to crush.
When I can really talk about it, I'll come back.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to crush it. I will say, without spilling the beans, the concept does not exist here in Central Virginia.
No, it's not on this coast at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be the first one.
Yeah, I think it's going to crush it.
And my flagship store is amazing. It's an old movie theater.
See, you want to spill the beans so badly.
I know I do.
I know. Don't spill the beans.
No, it's an old movie theater from the 50s in downtown DC.
Yeah, I think you're going to crush it. So here's the question I have for you. As you have these economies of scale, these multiple unit business, what are some of the innovative trends that you're seeing that we should get out into this local market, into the local markets that are watching? Like, still the priority of the drive-through is key.
Drive-through and self-ordering kiosks. That's going to be huge, especially because restaurants in the fast casual and even in, fast food.
Labor's getting out of control.
What?
Oh, you can't hire people, right? I was going to say the cost of labor is getting out of control.
The cost of labor is out of control, and we can't hire people.
Yeah.
So instead of having 3 cashiers, I could have 1 cashier and 2 kiosks, like Barracks Road.
We're seeing that with
It's not
McDonald's.
that I don't want to hire people.
Sure, right. You just can't.
You just can't, yeah.
You just can't. Smaller footprints?
Smaller footprints, for sure.
Talk to us about that.
We don't need that much space. I mean, with the drive-through, delivery, Uber, all the things, that takes a good chunk out of our business. So,
explain to the folks that are watching how Uber Eats and Uber delivery is difficult.
Well, they're expensive. They're expensive for us to use that service. So let's say they charge us 3%. So if you look on Uber Eats for any restaurant, and then look at the website for that restaurant, there's an upcharge. So not only are you paying for delivery and a tip, your food's upcharged. Because we have to cover the cost of we have to pay Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever.
Bill McChenzie says, name the THC and beer place Hookahs and Steins.
I love that.
Hookahs and Steins. I know. Wild Bill McChenzie right there. 2 thumbs up for Siren from Scott Aaronworth right there. He gives it a 2 thumbs up. This is an interesting comment.
Okay.
How would your guests suggest you negotiate with a landlord as big as Barracks?
Get a lawyer.
That's great
Get a developer, like, it depends on how many stores you have, right? So we have our own in-house development person that literally just does that for a living. They find us locations. His name is Roger. He's wonderful. He handles all the lease negotiations. I mean, he does that for a living. Do not try to do it by yourself, because the fine print is so fine. If you aren't used to doing that, you're going to get screwed.
Well, and we know this. We know this on common friend. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I mean,
yes.
The leases.
Yes.
The leases are. I mean, how many pages?
You wouldn't if that's not your job, you're not going to understand it, right? So
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like
hire a developer.
significant. It's like thick.
Oh
book
yeah,
thick.
hundreds of pages.
Hundreds of pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that puts it in perspective for those that are asking and wondering here. How about this question that's come in?
Okay, and then let's bring on Frank because he's got to drive back to New York.
Okay, he does. He does.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of questions coming in. I get distracted.
No, yeah, it's okay.
So this question I got for you. Footprint. How is she dropping in size for footprint with Paneras?
Well, I mean, we're going to go smaller, of course, right? But it also depends on what part of Virginia we're in. So, like, for example, Barracks Road, that's always going to have to be a big footprint because we have so many students that like to come in, bring their laptops. A lot of people since COVID are working from our locations, which I love. Thank you. But in non-college, non-student-oriented towns, our day part, is more flowy. Is that a word? Flowy?
Flowy, yeah, that's a word.
We have a big push from 11:30 to, let's say, 1. But other than that, it's usually just a trickle in. And we're really focusing on a lot of outdoor space. We really want a really nice patio. So between patio seating, some indoor seating, and then drive-through, I mean, we'll be good.
Yeah, they're doing well.
We don't need 100 seats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think those days are
gone for all restaurants.
For all restaurants. They're all gone.
Yep.
So go to the 3-shot when it's ready. And Judah Whitcare is our director. He's got the 3-shot ready to go. Kelly, you've brought a friend with you.
I did. He's one of my favorite people ever. His name's Frank Squio, and he is the founder of Baking Memories for Kids, which is my all-time favorite organization, non-for-profit, to support.
Well, Frank, you are live on the show. My friend, first, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
I am founder of a foundation called Baking Memories for Kids. We send very sick and terminally ill children on all expense-paid trips to Disney World for an entire week.
Get out of town.
And it's very different than Make-A-Wish.
Explain.
Get
real close to that mic for us.
15 years ago, I almost passed away from cancer. And I knew there was a purpose for everything that I went through. A lot of chemo and a lot of prayers, and knew that there was a bigger reason for that. Started a nonprofit. We sent a couple of children the first year. And I met Kelly about a year or so after that. And Kelly said, I can help you guys with your foundation and raise some money. And Kelly did a bake sale in her own cafe and raised enough money to send 2 families the first year. And then Kelly came up with a great idea of rounding up, asking people to round up. One of the first organizations in the country to do that, naming it Change for Children. And 8 years plus later, we have sent probably 50 plus families together with Kelly's introduction to other Panera cafes. In addition to that, we bake our own cookies in New York over the holidays, and we ship them all over the country, and that's what raises a lot of money to send our own families to Disney World. We've sent about 245 families in 9 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he's very different than Make-A-Wish, his organization, because he does terminal and potentially life-threatening.
Right.
Where Make-A-Wish doesn't. And Make-A-Wish, nothing against Make-A-Wish, but their waiting times to have these children go to Disney or all these other places is astronomical when these children don't have sometimes a very long time that they can wait for that.
Yeah.
What's your quickest turnaround time?
We have sent children in less than 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, when you have a child that comes to you that has 2 or 3 months left, life expectancy, you have to move very quickly. And because we're small, and I didn't build the foundation off of somebody else's business plan, I did it because it was meant to be done the way I want to do it. So we really don't have anybody else in our arena. And we raise our money by selling chocolate chip cookies, which we've sold over 3 million in 9 years. And we are
out of your house.
We bake literally. We got to bake out of our home. I bake 80,000 cookies a day in my garage and driveway.
What?
Over the winter.
He has a conveyor belt in his house from his basement.
We have a huge mixer, 12 ovens. and we brought everybody.
Is that
to my
on your
home.
Facebook or on social media
It's
anywhere?
it's on our site and on our Facebook. We're at Facebook, and then also on our main site, Baking Memories for Kids.
Okay, so Baking Memories for Kids?
Yeah,
4.
Baking Memories, the number 4 kids.
Okay, Baking Memories for the number 4 kids. Can you
Yep.
see if you can find some of these pictures so we can put on screen? Judah Wickhauer is our enterprising director who's always asked on the fly to scramble and do things like this, and I can tell by his facial expressions that he loves this. Baking Memories for the number 4 kids.
Yep.
See if you can find a conveyor belt of the cookies that he's doing in his garage.
We have a full basement that we bring in about 100 people a day, and I go to Costco and pick up 6,000
It's
eggs.
ridiculous.
3
Is
tons.
this true?
Oh,
Yes!
absolutely.
80,000 cookies a
A
day?
day,
Yeah.
yeah. with
Okay,
my
can you give me the
volunteers.
Monday, the quarterback, you're the play-by-play announcer. It's like you're calling a football game here, but instead you're dissecting what is happening in your house.
Well, Monday I get on a plane, I fly all over the country and give trips away from Monday to Friday. Friday I get home and I go to Costco and
He
we
personally
go with a
announces every
tractor trailer. We fill it up with 6,000 eggs, 3 tons of chocolate chips, flour, baking soda, and every ingredient. And then we drive it to my house. The next day, 7 o'clock, we start the ovens up and we'll bake with 100 volunteers 80,000 cookies a day on Saturday and then on Sunday. And then Monday morning I fly back across the country and give away trips.
The
Unbelievable.
whole Yankees team has been in his basement making cookies with him.
You've had the New York Yankees in your basement?
They honored me. They honor 5 organizations a year. It's called the Hope Award, where somebody changes the lives of other people. So I went to our commercial bakery, which is we were using up until recently, and the whole team was standing there, and they made cookies. Then we went to the field, and we threw out the first pitch with the Yankees, and we announced a child on the field with the Yankees. We've also been on Rachel Ray Show twice, the Today Show, Dr. Oz, stadium announcements, Yankees, Minnesota Vikings, Denver Broncos. We're a national foundation that's based in New York.
I've got to think our innovative studio here in Charlottesville is as competitive as Rachel Ray's studio. I mean, will you
We sold
say that?
80,000 cookies, $80,000 worth of cookies on that piece. So I don't think we'll get close to that, but it's an honor.
You
to
never
be there.
know.
We
So-
need to sell 80,000 cookies, damn it. We got to keep up with Rachel Ray. What Yankees were in your basement?
A-Rod, CC
A-Rod was in your
Sabathia.
basement?
Alex and I spent a lot of quality time together that day.
Which was there a beautiful lady with A-Rod at that time?
He had somebody, in fact, we're rolling the dough, and I said, Alex, who is this woman staring at us? He goes, oh, I brought my girlfriend with me.
Was that J-Lo?
No,
Darn it!
that would have been nice.
That would have been awesome.
No, Frank, you have to tell the story because this is Jerry will love this story. Okay, once you got diagnosed with cancer, walk them through that whole thing.
Oh, the beginning. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
Yankees.
with the Yankees
Yeah.
because you were little.
Yeah, I was 16 at the time, and didn't like baseball at all. I thought it was an extremely boring sport, and I never watched it. And I started becoming a fan. And then my buddy and I got a partial season ticket plan. It was a Sunday plan, so we only spent $90 because tickets were $10 each. So it was 9 Sundays. So the tickets were behind home plate, but the upper deck. So they were underneath the rail where they would slide the soda trays on, and everything would drip all over you, and then the wind would kick up. And basically, by the end of the 9th inning, you were basically a chia pet covered with Bronx, New York garbage on your back. So I had this ingenious idea to find out who was the ticket manager, so maybe I could become friends with him. I wrote him letters, and I said, Mr. Swain, can you move my tickets down? I love the Yankees, but I can't sit in that row, and can you move me down 1 row? Well, the man, I didn't know who I was even writing. Little I know he was George Steinbrenner, who owns the Yankees' right-hand man. And anybody, whether it's the Pope or the president that wanted tickets, they would go to Frank Swain. So me with my $90 a year plan. Anyway, he kept on moving me down, and I wrote letters every year. And finally now, like 10 years later, I'm in the front row in the upper deck. So I stopped writing letters. I'm like, I'm not going to get any better seats in the upper deck. I am so happy for my $90. 20 plus years later, my friend goes to work for the Yankees. She was my neighbor, and she's like, I got a job with the Yankees. You want to come and have lunch with me one day? I'm like, oh my God, go inside the stadium and the offices. So happy. She goes, this is my boss, and his name is Frank Swain. I'm like, oh boy. I said, if he remembers my name. Now, his job was to remember everybody's name. So he goes, you were that kid that wrote me those letters when you were 16. I go, guilty as charged. I said, Mrs. Swain, I cannot thank you enough for helping me. I was so appreciative. I stopped writing the letters. He goes, you are a very persistent young man. Then I found out who he really was, and he was just the nicest man in the world. And it was part of God's plan, basically. I got the tickets, and I would go every couple of months. I'd have lunch with my friend Gina. I'd get pizza, and we would just chit-chat with Frank. And for about 4 or 5 months, I didn't go. And he had asked my friend Gina, where's Frank? And he said, Frank has got this huge lump in his neck, and he doesn't know what it is. And he said, tomorrow, tell Frank to go to Sloan Hospital and meet with Dr. Wong, who handles all of the head and neck cancers at Sloan in New York. I didn't even have insurance with Sloan. I walked into the hospital, didn't fill out any paperwork, went up to the top floor. The doctor got me in the back, didn't wait at all. And he goes, I said to him, I didn't even give out any insurance or anything. I didn't know I didn't have insurance with Sloan at the time. So he goes, I don't even know how you got in here either, but I need to find out what's going on in your neck. And they did a bunch of needle biopsies, and they realized that they're seeing some cells of concern, some that weren't. So he goes, just come in tomorrow, and we'll open up your neck and take the lump out and do pathology on it. And I said to him, listen, I don't know if I can make it tomorrow. He goes, Frank, I don't even know how you got in here. Like, you must know somebody. Meanwhile, I knew nobody. But Frank Swain talked to George Steinbrenner, and they were very good friends with Dr. Leahy, who sits on all of the Sloan boards. And they said to him, you need to do us a favor. Just take this guy in and find out what is wrong. So I came back in the next day. They did the surgery. They realized that the cancer was throughout my entire body. It was advanced stage 3 cancer. And it was throughout all of my lymph nodes were enlarged with cancer, and it was going into my brain. It's a cancer that once it goes into your brain, it becomes terminal on every level. And I came back in, we did that. They gave me the prognosis the next day when they did the pathology on it. Then I went in to do another surgery, and then we started chemo immediately. The chemo is platinum-based chemo that is so strong, it literally went blind when they administered it because it's so potent that it kills every cell in your body. And it took 3 months to get every cell killed, and then the good cells come back. So within days, you can't walk up a flight of stairs. I slept on a couch for 3 months because I couldn't even go up a flight of stairs. And it was a tough 3 months, but that was the plan. The plan was when I got better, there was a bigger reason why I was able to survive that cancer. And God had the plan already done. I just didn't know about it.
Starting at 16 with your tickets.
Absolutely. Becoming a fan. Now the Yankees honor me every year. I go back and we give a child on the way on the field. I am friends with Joe Girardi, who's now the Phillies manager, but the team knows who I am, and it's just such a blessing. But we sent one child the first year, and I baked these amazing chocolate chip cookies since I was a kid in New York. Snow day, you take out the chips and you make the cookies. And I always gave them away as gifts to my customers. And now instead of making 2,000, we make 80,000 a day with volunteers. We have 3,000 volunteers that make the foundation work, but we are a staff of 2 plus 1 part-time person that run the entire foundation. We will make upwards of 50 to 60 announcements a year. I fly all over the country, give the trip away. The children never know. We just did 2 today at the Panera with Kelly, and the children never know, and we surprise them. Then they get on the plane, they go, we pay for everything, and then they stay at a beautiful resort. All passes to Disney World, SeaWorld, Legoland, Universal Studio, front of the line, all the meals, rent a car, and they create memories of a lifetime.
We're showing on screen the assembly line. Is this your basement?
That is either the commercial kitchen or my garage. Yeah, we rented out a commercial kitchen up until recently, but with COVID, as everybody's lives have changed, mine did as well. The commercial kitchen would not let us use the facility because we had to be 3 feet apart, and we can't be more than 3 inches apart.
Yeah.
So what we did is I did it in my driveway outdoors. Now in New York in November, December, it snows and rains. So we built tents in my driveway because it rained every time we baked, and we brought all my ovens over, and we brought all the equipment over, and we did everything. The problem is everybody loved it so much, now they want to bake at my house every time instead of go to the commercial kitchen, which we're in the process of. Literally tomorrow I'm putting up more permanent structures in my driveway this week.
Our friend Scott, we have to sell 80,000 cookies here, guys, to keep up with Rachel Ray. Scott said, I'm buying some right now.
You can't buy them now. That's the problem. We only sell them in November and December, but we are baking on Saturday, so if they want to go and email us, we will open up an order and get them on.
Okay, so let's get.
The cookies are delicious, and I'm picky.
What is the secret sauce of the cookies?
Love.
It's my recipe since I was a kid, and we tweaked it a lot. We don't use any white sugar, a lot of vanilla, and extra chips, and a lot of love. These cookies are memory-making items.
Whoa!
So what you're going to eat the cookies, all that money
drop.
is going towards funding a child who probably has less than a year to live with their family on a trip of a lifetime. So what I say is they're amazing cookies. They stand on their own against anybody's cookies, but what they really do is create memories for families that would have no memories at all.
What do you make of this comment here? This is from Mary Klein. She says, please ask the guests what it feels like to fly all over the country and to give trips to kids.
It is a very full circle moment for when I know what I went through, and then I see a parent with a child, which has to be the worst possible thing to watch your child basically suffer. So when I'm standing there and I get the honor of surprising the kids with the trip, sometimes words just don't explain what it is, because it is so impactful, and it's so many tears are being shed when I'm telling them about the trip. But for her difference, they're happy tears versus sad tears.
Text message just came in. How can we get your email address?
You can go right onto the website, and it says contact us. Go to Baking Memories, the number 4 kids, and you'll hit contact us. If you are interested, really a lot of our revenue comes from corporations that are looking for a great holiday gift. This is 70% of our sales are anybody that sends out a gift thanking their customers for being one of their customers. We do everything for them. So they'll email us the addresses, we do all the shipping, and they put their own gift message in the box. So if a corporation, anybody listening right now knows of anybody that's looking for the best holiday gift you could ever give, we are the place to come, because from that, they're the reason why we get to do more announcements. So,
And if you have kids and your kids want to do a bake sale
Absolutely.
in the driveway,
Yep.
you can bake cookies, you can buy cookies from Wegmans, sell them, and then you can donate the money.
a lot of organizations don't sell stuff after a day. So you can go to any of the big organizations, any of the big chains, and say, hey, we want to do a bake sale to raise money for a nonprofit. They will give you the product to sell, and you just sell in front of your house, and then you send us the funds, and we put all that money together. We did a lot of those before COVID, and it was a big success. We're going to do a lot of them this summer. So you can go on the website and donate. You can, if you go right now and make a donation for $30, we will send you a container of cookies in honor of me being on your show. And we are baking, literally, I'm going
at
to
that.
Costco on Friday.
You heard that,
So-
Scott, who's watching right now. I'm getting tapped on the shoulder by my better half. She's saying, "Get me those cookies, Jerry." The man has got the best cookies in the business, evidently here. Let me throw this to you. What? Give us an anecdote, a experience, or a story. Someone that they all touch your heart. They're all special to you, but one where it really resonated with you.
I will tell you one that I tell often, but there are 245. And today I had 2 more memories that are in my brain forever. But this one family, I drove to their house because they live in New Jersey. So I was able to drive, and it was about 2 or 3 hour drive. Got there, and it's a very small home. And you come to the house, because we always come in on a fire truck. So I literally come in on the fire truck, I'm in the front seat, I come out with the big Mickey and the cookies, and we surprise the kids. Kids all come out. That's our thing. If we don't do
So
one
fun.
at a Panera or at a stadium, we'll always get the firemen involved and women involved. But I pull up, and you see these 2 children coming out, and they're both in wheelchairs, and they have one hand that controls the wheelchair. They both have a disease that is a progressively terminal disease, Deutsche muscular dystrophy. In fact, we denounced a child today, a family that had 2 children as well. It's hereditary, so sometimes when you have 1 child, you have 2. The children come out, and they come down the ramp to greet me. I give them the trip, and then they're like, come in the house, and we want to spend some time talking to you, which I love because I get to know the family better. And I go in the house, very small home, and they have space heaters throughout the house. And I said, Dad, he goes, Frank, we have the space heaters because we can't afford the build. So we have heaters to keep our children warm enough to keep them alive over the winter. And they said, you drove a long way. Why don't you go to this restaurant on the way home before you get on the road? And we go there twice a year. And ironically, it was a Panera restaurant. Now, listen, nobody loves Panera more than me and Kelly, obviously. But I don't think anybody listening, or Kelly and I, or anybody in your audience would plan to go to a Panera in 6 months' time. That shows you the enormity of what a trip like this would mean to that family when they have 2 children that will not make 10 more years or 5 more years, that they have so little money because the medical is literally sucked out every dollar that they can do. So they look forward to going to a fast food type enterprise for 6 months in advance. If that doesn't put things in perspective of us coming in and giving them a $15,000 trip for free because people bought cookies or people rounded up, I will never forget that family because of not necessarily the reaction to the surprise, but the enormity of what baking memories for kids means to a family like that could never in a million years do a trip like this.
The significance. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You wear your heart on your sleeve. I can already tell. You have an energy and an aura that's contagious. I can already tell
Thank
that
you.
as well.
Thank you.
Did you ever imagine this organization would transform into what it is today?
I think sometimes it's better you don't know what's coming, because at this point my life was already planned out. At 45, I was set to retire and be done, and just live a nice little life, go to Disney every once in a while, and
Now you live there.
God had a different plan. And sometimes you don't want to know the whole plan in advance because it's so overwhelming. I'm always in awe of every door that opens up for the foundation, whether it's this amazing woman sitting next to me, calling me and telling me, I don't even know what you are or who you are, but I want to help you, to the Yankees surprising me, or, just so many things have happened that it's just meant to be. You have to believe in life that some things are just not coincidental. They're meant to be. My foundation was destined before I was born. It was already in the plan. I just didn't know I was part of that plan. And I never will be surprised by what happens, because this foundation is destined for greatness. It will never end when I end. When my life is over, the Baking Memories for Kids will be in existence for generations, because it's just meant to be. And these families need something. When you have a child that goes on the trip and passes away 3 months after that, think about the memories that you would have had without somebody buying cookies or making a donation. You would only have memories of hospitals, injections, tears, and no tears of happiness. When I get to go to the park and I see the families ride the rides, and I see this little boy who I know has stage 4 brain cancer, which I witnessed 2 months ago when I went down there, and I watch him running with his hands up in the air to the Dumbo ride at Magic Kingdom, and you see that memory is imprinted in mom and dad's heart forever because of people helping my foundation. There is no more powerful thing you can do than give somebody a gift of memories, because without that memory, they would have nothing. 5 years from now, they'll watch those videos of that same boy running to the ride, and they'll say, because of this one man, really not me, because of God's plan, and because of people buying cookies and making donations, we got to have these videos and pictures forever. I don't know what's more powerful than that.
It's amazing. Means so much to you, I know. I think we're both getting choked up over here. You have to...
And I love this man so
yeah.
much.
I mean, talk to us why. Obvious reasons here.
No, some people get diagnosed with bad things, whether that be cancer or who knows what, and they sit and wallow and do a why, oh, woe is me, why me, right? Or say, Frank could have just said, well, geez, that was hella lucky, I survived, and gone on with life. And he's chosen not to do that. He's chosen to impact families and children in such an amazing way, just because of his heart and the person he is. And if more people were like that in the world, imagine what it could be.
Thank you.
That's amazing. How do we take your foundation to the next level? I mean, you're already at incredible levels here. How do we keep the growth happening?
I think just people following us, like us on Facebook, follow us, because we do surprises all year long, but we need help. I mean, we need help. There's a lot of charities out there, and what I say is there's a lot of great charities, but when somebody buys a container of cookies or makes a donation, over 90% of that money goes to the wish or goes to the child going on that trip. We do a lot with very little. So people can make a donation. People just put that on your calendar. Hey, in November 1st, let me find out, when can we buy cookies? Well, we know it's November 1st. If you like us on Facebook, we will notify you. The cookie ordering is started, and we only sell them for 2 months, so you have to get your cookies then. We ship them all over the country for free. You buy the cookies, and you could use it as a tax donation. There's not many holiday gifts that you can give that you can actually write off on your taxes, because we are a 501c3, you can. But you'd be part of our memory-making team, which is tens of thousands of people in this country that are so loyal and buy cookies every single year. And I have to believe my cookies alone are amazing, but what we do with them is just precious.
Well said. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Dude, you are awesome.
He's the best.
I know,
Thank you.
the
Thank
absolute
you.
best.
My poor husband, when him and I get together,
Yeah, Adam doesn't get many words in.
Does he go to the tiny house?
Yeah, he's got to go.
Does he go to the tiny house? Thank you for setting this up.
Sure.
Seriously.
yeah. It's a great organization.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of great organizations to support. This just happens to be my favorite. And I wanted everyone in Charlottesville to know about it.
Baking Memories for Kids, the number 4. Baking Memories for Kids, guys.
You're getting a best guess ever.
I saw that. Best guess ever on the feed.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys are just really sweet. It's just one guy just fulfilling his destiny.
I'm getting. We have to wait till November. I will wait till November for these cookies right here.
Thank you. That's so nice, and you will not be disappointed.
No.
The cookies are the best gifts you can give family, friends, and again, if you work for a job, just go to whoever runs the company and say, listen, do we give out holiday gifts? Well, we need to do these cookies because we have never lost a corporation that's come with us. And they say, Frank, we used to give fruit baskets or bottles of wine. They go, now we get letters from all of our clients saying, what a great idea. We're going to do the same. If everybody does that, we don't pay for advertising. We only do word of mouth. So it's amazing stations like yours that are giving me a voice, and that's how we grow a little nonprofit that is an amazing little organization that changes the lives of these children.
Unbelievable. And I want to highlight the Jackson and Postel family and emphasize again the incredible positive things they are doing, not only within the Commonwealth, not only within Central Virginia, but across the country with their ties with Panera and this Baking Memories for Kids Foundation. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Dude, you are awesome, Frank.
Thank you. Very generous. Thank you.
Seriously, and Kelly, thank you for setting this up.
Sure.
You were 100% right.
Right? He's so great.
100% right. She said she was hyping you beforehand. I'm like, trust Kelly, you're here. And you exceeded expectations.
Wow. Very, very blessed to have the opportunity. And we just did the surprises. And I'm literally getting back in the car now and driving back to New York.
Man's going to New York literally today, driving back today.
We're heading
Judah, thank you for adapting on the fly. Kelly Jackson is the best. Frank is the best. I'm Jerry. You see what the show is all about. We try to utilize social media for the good, for positive, guys. Thank you for joining us today on the program. We're back tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. with Today y Mañana. You guys have a good afternoon. Take care.
Thanks, Jerry.
Well done.
Thank you, bud.
Well done.
Thank you.
Let's get a quick pic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Please.